this video we're going to have a look at sorting visualizations. So we're going to have a look first of all of this table visualization. Now currently you can see it is being sorted by the region name. In fact, there is a filter on this in it which might be helpful if I just click on the eraser and remove. So it's being sorted on region name descending. So that means letters, anything starting with Z or Z is right at the top and A is right at the bottom. If I wish to change the sort order, then I can do so simply by clicking on it. Similarly, if I want to sort by a different column, I can do that by clicking on that column. Now, if I click on the ... the more options, which is just outside the visualization, you'll see that there is a sort descending, sort ascending, and then a sort by a particular field. So if you didn't want to click on any particular column, you can say I want to sort by sales volume descending. If we go to the matrix, where we've got the years going down and Greater Manchester and the other regions going across, again we can sort. But you can't just click on the individual region, that uses a spotlight. So here you will have to use the more options to sort by the year, or sort by the sales volume. And you can see it's only the overall sales volume that can be sorted. You can't sort a particular column. There is no sort by the West Yorkshire sales, unfortunately. Now, what if you wanted to do a bit more of a custom sort? So, for instance, let's add a new table, and I'm going to show in there the region name, but I'm also going to show the area code name. So it's a bit small, so I'll just expand it by going to the bottom of the grid. And I'll expand it to there. Now you'll see that the region name is not in an identical order of the area code. But maybe you want it to be. Maybe the area code order is important and it should go Greater Manchester, Merseyside, South Yorkshire, West Midlands, West Yorkshire, Tyne and Wear. But there doesn't seem to be a way to just drag, say, Merseyside up or West Yorkshire down or something. So let's say this was important. I wanted the region name to be in exactly the same order as the area codes. Well, what I can do is I can click on region name. In the column tools, we have sort by column enabled. So what this allows us to do is to sort a particular column based on a second column. So I want region name to be sorted in the same order as area code. But now if I sort by region name ascending, you'll see that Tyne and Wear is now at the bottom, exactly the same as in the area code. If I sorted by area code, Tyne and Wear would be right at the bottom. Now, so that sorting by column, that is not a one-off. That affects all visualizations on all pages which use this particular data source. So use that with some care. A good example of this is, suppose you had a column which had the month name, January, February, March, April. If you tried sorting that in order, you'd get April first and then August in alphabetical order. Instead, you can say, I want to sort that in association with the month number. we'll show how to do that much later when we get into modelling. Now let's have a look at the sorting for this graph. So I'll click on the ... next to it, and you might be able to sort the legend, but you can't sort the axis. So why is that? Well, just enter focus mode. And the reason for that is because this X category is being sorted continuously. It's being shown continuously. So it's going from 1994, which is blank, all the way to 2016. And the consequence of that is that there really is no sensible way to override that sorting. However, if we change this from a type continuous to a type categorical, so taking each of these years as a separate category in the same sense as car, lorry, van would be different. And now we can sort by a particular thing. So we can sort by year, ascending, year descending, as is here, or we can sort by something else. Sort by sales volume. So you can see 2006 is the highest sales volume, and then 2003, 2004, all the way down to 2009. So if you want to be able to sort the x-axis of a chart to be something different, then you better change the x-axis from continuous, which is its own sort and can't really be overridden, to categorical. So if I change that back to continuous, you can see we have lost the sorting. Change it to categorical, and we've got it back again. So that is sorting. Sorting allows us to present the information with the most important at the top, maybe. It needn't be by the first column, it could be by sales volume. It needn't be in alphabetical order, it could be based on another column like area code. And you can also change the x-axis of charts to be based on categories, and then you can sort the charts in a non-continuous format. Now I'm just going to change all of that back because I think I would prefer to have that as continuous, and I'm also going to change the region name so that it is sorted by region name, which is the default again. But it's nice to know that you can change it as and when you need it. How can we have 6 versions of this chart, one for each of these regions? Well, what I could do is I could copy this into a new page, so I'll just do that. Remove the legend and add a filter just for this particular visual for region name. So drag that in and say region name is equal to Greater Manchester. So I could do that and then resize it a bit and drag it up maybe. And then I'll copy that. So I've got a second version, and I'll change the filter so that it's Merseyside or Tyne and Wear or something like that. Now I just want you to have a look at what I've got, so I'll just blow it back up. We have got one Greater Manchester here with the axis going from 0 all the way to 60,000. And then we've got Tyne and Wear with the axis going from 0 to 20. Now if you didn't look at those axes, they would look like they were very similar. So I've got the high here, 61k, got a high here. It looks even taller. but it isn't, it's only 25,000. So that is one way of being able to show multiple regions in different charts. But let me show you a much simpler way. So we're going to get rid of this filter on this visualization. So now it's back to everybody, and I'm going to blow it back up full screen. And the way that we can do this, and this is only for bar, column, line, and area charts, is to create something called the small multiple. It's got a more technical name of trestling. So what I can do with a small multiple, if I scroll down, is say, okay, this chart is great as it is, but I want it to concentrate on one particular thing, and this thing I'm going to have it concentrating on is region name. So notice what happens when I drag region name into small multiples. So now we have got the same chart for Greater Manchester, Merseyside, South Yorkshire, Tyne and Wear, and then if I scroll down, we've got West Midlands and West Yorkshire. Now notice something else. They are all on the same axis, all on the same scale. So Greater Manchester, we've got a scale of 0 to 60,000. Tyne and Wear, we still have 0 to 60,000. But now these bars look a lot smaller because it was on a scale of 0 to 20,000. Now suppose you want to say, okay, that's great, but currently it's in alphabetical order, Greater Manchester, Merseyside, South Yorkshire. What I want to see are the biggest things at the top, so Greater Manchester followed by either West Yorkshire or West Midlands. Well, in the previous video we had a look at how to sort. And all I do was click on the ... and it says sort by. However, if you've got a small multiple, it doesn't say sort by, it says sort small multiples. So I'm not actually sorting the graph itself. In other words, it's still going to go from 1995 to 2015. What I'm sorting is their presentation, the way that they are arranged. So I want to sort the small multiples not by region name, which is what we've currently got, but by sales volume. So this will be the sum of the sales volume. And I can say I want it sorting ascending. So here we've got Tyne and Wear at the top, then South Yorkshire. Or I can say sort descending. So I've got Greater Manchester at the top, then West Midlands. Now I want you to note the axes. So we only have one set of axes on the left and one set of axes going across. The fact that it starts from 0 to 60,000 twice means that they accompany each graph or each chart, but there's not one in the middle. Similarly, the years, 1995 to 2015, goes to 2016, but we don't see that. Happens twice, and if I scroll down, you can see that they stay in place. So they don't get attached to where it looks like the bottom visual I can see. It just gets attached to the bottom of the visualization. So that is small multiples. It's having multiple versions of the same chart, same visualization, as say bar chart, column chart, line chart, and area charts. But each one of these small charts focuses on a different, in this case, region name. Now let's have a look at the formatting. So if I go into format, we have got two items up here. First of all, small multiples. So we can change the font family, the text size. All of this is to do with the headers. So I can have the header in red, center aligned, and this is quite important, the position. Because for me, West Yorkshire looks like it might be this one. Generally, I would have them at the bottom, so West Yorkshire is no contest, really has to be this particular chart. So we've got small multiples. That refers to the header. And then we've got grid layout. So at the moment I have got a grid of 2 rows by 2 columns. So because I've got 6 items, it's very easy to have 6 on the screen without any scrolling. So I can either have 3 rows and 2 columns, or 2 rows and 3 columns. So I'm going to stick at the moment with the 3 rows. We can also change the background color, change the transparency. We can add grid lines, so either vertical, horizontal grid lines, or all grid lines, or borders and grid lines. That's a bit too in the face, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it so it's a light color, maybe a bit thicker, so you can have really thick ones if you want. But I'm going to change the line style so that it is dashed or dotted. I think dotted might look better. The grid padding, that is how much white space you want. So you might not want any white space between the grid lines, or you might want a lot. And if it needs tweaking, if it needs adjusting the left from the top, from the right, from the bottom, then you can use the advanced padding options. And so you can see you have got inner and outer column and inner and outer row padding if you need to refine it that much. Now, just one more thing, how do these interact with other visualizations? And the answer is quite well. So let's create another visualization. I've just copied and pasted that. So I'll just move that to one side. And so this isn't going to have any small multiples. Instead, it's going to be a stacked column chart with the date running across and with region name as the legend. So if I click on any one of these items, you can see that the appropriate bar gets selected here as well, and vice versa. So if I click on one particular one, here you can see West Midlands 50,000. I can also click on a title, so Greater Manchester would highlight all of the Greater Manchesters. Similarly, I could click on a region name up here in the legend. And if this axis was not continuous, but categorical, then I could click on any one particular year, and I can see that year being highlighted here as well. So this is small multiples. So they allow you to have smaller versions of one particular visualization, but each of them is going to be filtered or partitioned or have the focus on a particular different aspect of, in this case, region name. And then you can have a look at the small multiples and the grid layout formatting. So that is small multiples.